Let's now talk to member of the PDP National Convention Committee, Michael Mary, who joins us on the news at 7. Mr. Mary, thank you for joining us. I'd like to begin with your reaction to former Senate President Bukola Saraki, who has warned that proceeding with this convention could further divide the PDP. He's calling instead for a caretaker committee. As a member of the convention committee, how do you respond to this concern?
Well, it's a good way to think, but his conclusions are based on assumptions. And most of the people who are holding this opinion think that the use of the courts will eventually truncate the will of the people, because nobody gives you any more tangible reason than that the courts could eventually decide against the convention or the outcome or its outcome. But then we are persuaded by the arguments of the lawyers that there is a subsisting court order that says go ahead with the convention. That is a competent court, the right court that should adjudicate on the matter. The case is an internal affairs of the party, of members of the party. It is not a case of a federal agency versus another. So you go to a federal high court, you're going to a federal high court, vitiates your whatever, the reliefs you seek to get. Go to a state high court that has competence to deal in this matter, because there's a subsisting Supreme Court judgment that cannot be interpreted by a federal high court in the manner that it did. It is supposed to either support or rule itself out of competence to rule on that matter.
On one hand,
the state high court is...
Are the legal issues, so, Mr. Mary?
Can I finish? Can I learn?
All right, please
do. The issue of going ahead with the convention is supported by an existing outcome. Well, give and take, as Senator Saraki is advocating, is part of ways of conflict resolution, and members of the party ought to have resorted to that instead of going to court in the first instance.
Your legal explanation, Mr. Mary, is one way to look at it, but there are reports that some state chapters remain sharply divided over delegate lists and zoning arrangement as it currently is. How do you intend to deal with possible litigations that can come out of this if this convention holds?
No, you are giving me information. This is information. You know, it looks like you are part of those who have compiled a list of delegates from the states, because lists of delegates have been ready for God knows how long. And why would it be on the eve of an election that we'll have issue of delegate list when delegates are arriving in Ibadan already? People have started arriving. I have videos right now. When I'm sitting right here, I ask for videos from Ibadan, and I've seen people arriving in the stadium. They are delegates. And how come we never heard of the issue of delegate lists until now?
So you're saying now that, no, precisely, because we've seen a lot of movements in the past days to the ruling party. There's also the ADC that intends to consolidate on some form of coalition. What exactly is the strategy for the PDP at this time moving forward?
There are those of us who strongly believe in the values of the PDP as enunciated by the founding fathers. On that we stand, and we'll continue to work to ensure that we have a viable opposition to the ruling party and any other party for that matter. That is what makes democracy what it is. That is what makes the politics exciting. But we cannot emasculate opposition and say we have a democracy. That is not tenable in a pluralistic society such as Nigeria that has diverse opinions, diverse views, and every kind of diversity can be found in Nigeria. Therefore, we will work to ensure that we bring as many people as are interested and who believe in the values of the party as enunciated by the founding fathers to come, so that we work together to join every other Nigerian who is interested in building a Nigeria of our dreams.
Michael Mary is a member of the PDP National Convention Organizing Committee. Thank you for talking to us on the news tonight.